What do you think is most important when it comes to leadership in education?
Well, maybe in talking about what's most important in educational leadership, we need to, I suppose, get clear about who we're talking about and what leadership actually is. A lot of people think that leadership is about having a formal position of authority, like a school principal, a chief executive. But in education, we're working very hard to have, to recognise the way everybody exercises leadership. And I think as we come to try to develop a system in which there is more collaboration, more professional community, more organisational learning, that notion of having everyone exercise leadership is a very powerful notion. And a lot of teachers, I think, misunderstand leadership. Leadership for me is an influence process. I'm attempting to influence you, to accept particular ideas, to think about particular things, maybe to practice differently. But it's not enough to just say that it's an influence process, because if that's all we say, it doesn't distinguish between between influencing people through manipulation, coercion or force. They're all forms of influence, and they're forms of influence that are very disliked, especially by people in Scandinavia, who have a very strong ethic of democracy. So leadership is influence that is based on particular things. The source of the influence is my relationship with you, that, like one of trust. That's a very important source of influence. Another source of leadership influence is my ideas. So we talk and you change the way you think, or you consider something you wouldn't have otherwise considered because of the ideas I'm bringing. And so school leaders who have ideas that help colleagues solve problems of teaching and learning in their classroom are likely to be much more influential than school leaders who don't have ideas that are helpful for you in solving problems that you experience in the classroom. And the third source of influence is positional authority. So there are certain bottom lines, there are certain responsibilities, and they shouldn't be denied in education, though most educational leaders don't want to appeal to that source of influence if they can, in fact, exercise leadership through the other two, which is our relationship and the ideas we're discussing. So those are, for me, the three sources of influence for educational leadership.
So when you talk about the three sources, it's about both a bit of pressure and demand and support.
Well, in the sense that for some leaders, not all, there's positional authority, yes. But if we are peers and I'm a teacher leader and you're one of the colleagues in my team, there may be some pressure as well as support, but it's not from positional authority because I don't have that over you. It's more a sense of I'm willing to give you feedback, I'm willing to challenge you, I'm willing to be curious about your practice and ask you questions. I also invite you to do the same. So we are holding each other accountable. If that's pressure, yes, it's a good source of pressure. It's reciprocal, it's collegial, but it also brings me into a relationship with you where I also feel an obligation to help you work through the issues I'm challenging you about, and that's the support side of it. So yes, it's that combination of challenge and support. It's not one or the other.